Greetings guys and gals, this is XIJABERWALKIX bringing you the best in esports. Today we have StarCraft Brood War, the Shinhan Winners League. This is going to be KT Rolster versus Woongjin Stars. Set 2, Woongjin Stars up 1-0 on KT, flying, winning the first match versus Stats, I believe. But we have Reach, none other than the famous Reach playing the game now. Obviously he's not at his best, at the very least, because right now he's rolling at like a 40-something% win rate. And Flying, also not the best player, very, very new player comparatively to Reach. Reach has been around forever, but Flying is like 40% or something versus Protoss, and like a total of like 44%, something like that. Maybe it's both of them's 40. I don't really know, but this is going to be a really interesting matchup because Reach actually hasn't played since December sometime, and even before that it was like October, so he's not really played any Pro League matches at this time, and Reach is actually 1-0 versus Flying, I believe is what that's saying at the bottom right. Anyways, this is going to be on Fortress, and it's going to be a PvP. At the 9 o'clock position we have Flying in red, and at the 3 o'clock position we have Reach in yellowish color, but that's not yellow, that's peach colored, and it says yellow on the scoreboard. So I don't know why they have that. I don't know why they can't ever manage to match the colors right. I think that's just stupid. But at the very least, no cheese going down for either player. It looks like both going to go for a gateway first and kind of go for the Dragoon Reaver type play. But it's so exciting to see Reach play. I mean, when Caller used to cast, and I used to listen to Caller's cast, he would always talk about how much he loved Reach, and Reach being the man toss. And it's just going to be really, really fun to see him play once again, although he's definitely not at the top of his game. Definitely not on top of the scene like it was before he would make seriously like every OSL as a Protoss player, which would be fun to watch. But now he's kind of slowing down a little bit. Still shows a lot of moral support for KT Rolster. Recently was traded to KT from Air Force Ace. As you guys can see, there are expansions behind those mineral patches which only SCVs can get through for the time being, which is really, really important to note. Pylon going down at that bottom left side, possibly for some hidden tech or something of that nature, but you can see that those workers are able to get through those gates and those pylons. Core going up for Flying, and Reach just playing pretty standard besides that pylon. He might be going for some hidden tech like DTs or something of that nature. Maybe his robo facility is going to be down there, but I don't think that Flying's really going to expect anything, because if it's just one pylon that's missing. It's not like a whole ton of stuff. It's not like he doesn't have his core going up or his assimilator or anything like that. We do see the 3 probes on gas for Flying. Cybernetics core spinning for Reach, but that honestly could be a fake, just because he has that pylon down there. Possibly could be a fake. So that probe's obviously going to see that core spinning and be like, oh, this is a standard build. We're going to have to see once it gets out of the base, once they click on it again, if it does end up stopping right away. Dragoon now out for Reach as well. And I just want to apologize to you guys for not doing that cast. It looks like, oh, finally that core spinning kind of delayed, actually, comparatively to Reach's +1 range, or not +1 range, well, range for his Dragoons, not to confuse anyone. I don't want to say like +1, and for you guys to think, oh, it's +1 attack, but obviously you can't get +1 attack from cores. But what I was saying is I want to apologize for not putting up a cast in the midday yesterday. I put 2 up the previous night, but yesterday was super hectic for me, and today is super hectic for me as well, but I just need to squeeze out a cast for you guys at the very least. Another gateway going down for Reach. His core is still spinning, so he is going to go for that Dragoon range at this point in the game. And so, not entirely sure why that pylon's there. That might be for like shuttles and stuff, so he can see when the shuttle comes over, if he's going to go from that southern position and try to come upward with that shuttle. Other than that, I really don't know. Still could definitely go for some hidden tech, like he could put his Citadel of a Dune down there or something, and then his Templar Archives, but this might even get scouted by this probe. He might think that something's up. Flying definitely playing very, very cautiously, and so this probe might see that pylon. Looks like it does not, however. So it's not going to see that pylon at that southern position. At the very least, we have 3 Dragoons, 1 Zealot out for Flying. probably thinking of securing an expansion in the near future. Meanwhile, Reach at 1 Zealot and 2 or 3 Dragoons for his forces. We do just see kind of picking and prodding. You see that Dragoon going in just a little bit, going to see the forces that are there and pull back before he gets any free shots off. That probe is going to die from flying, so flying does not get in the base, does not see that expansion, which is really crucial because if flying wanted to push in right now, he probably could do a lot of damage. He did opt to go for his robotics facility, so nothing like a 3-gate push or anything of that nature, and so he's really not going to be able to harass just as effectively as he would have been able to off of 3 gates, but 3 gates is kind of all in sometimes. It's very, very hard to expand. It's kind of like the equivalent to a 4-gate push in StarCraft 2. Robotics facility going up for, robotics support rather, going up for flying. And so he's going to go for his Reavers before observers. We have 2 more gates morphing in for Reach, which is very, very peculiar. So he is going to go for kind of this gateway timing push here, and we're going to see how that goes. Reach just such a badass. Flying just looks, not going to be mean, but flying just doesn't look as cool as Reach. I mean, Reach has that sweet jacket. Flying doesn't have a sweet jacket. I mean, he has a jacket. It's not that cool, though. Definitely not as cool as KT stuff. But to be fair, I've never thought that Woongjin Star stuff was nearly as cool as KT Rolsters. I think the coolest stuff sometimes is from Hwaseng Oz. Definitely has really cool stuff. I think SKT1's new jerseys are kind of weird, to be honest. I think the orange is just really kind of weird. I liked the old ones a lot better, and I like the one time where Bisu wore that traditional like suit looking thing that was blue and white. I think I mentioned it in another video, but it was freaking sweet. There's a lot of Dragoons at the front for flying. He has not put down his expansion yet, so might be going for some type of timing push. Meanwhile, Reach has gone for 4 gateways, and off of these 4 gateways he's been able to produce quite the army of his own. And we're going to see an engagement here. Reach reacting, and he might be able to pick off the shuttle. That would be absolutely crucial if he was able to pick off the shuttle. Here comes the shuttle with the units. We'll see if the Dragoon is able to pick off the shuttle. They go in to try to pick it off. 2 hits going off on that shuttle, but not enough to kill it. Reaver shot hitting those Dragoons. Dragoons are going to have to back up, but Reach, I believe, has the superior number of Dragoons, and he might be able to pick off the shuttle. He's going to try to pick off the Reaver or the shuttle at the very least, doing really good micro at the northern end of things. It looks like flying might be pulling just a little bit of head. Reach engaging with his Dragoons, but it's really hard to decide who has more Dragoons at this point. That Reaver is going to come in huge. These 4 gateways are going to come in huge, as well as the fact that Reach's economy is going to be a lot higher than Flying's, because Flying has delayed his expansion and Reach has his expansion up, so he's going to have so much of a better economy. That Reaver, pretty good on health comparatively, doesn't really have anything that's missing there. 1 Reaver shot going off on that Dragoon and hitting another one, so 1 more hit would kill that. Here comes an observer, and the Dragoon's just kind of making a wall off. And Flying's gonna be able to harass it pretty much. Looks like he's going in, trying to pick it off, is able to pick off the Reaver. That's huge. And now Reach in the driver's seat. I believe Flying's not gonna be able to really hold him at this point in the game, so Reach doing a freaking amazing job here. Flying finally picking up his expansion. It's been up for a while, probably going to morph in very, very soon, but Reach now definitely in the driver's seat, definitely has the more Dragoons, definitely has the better economy, and so if he doesn't mess up, man, he's going to be able to do a ton of damage. Flying's going to have to do something to defend, putting a pylon at the front, probably going to put some gateways or a forge or something right there, and to try to block off that choke. That choke is relatively small already, but if he's able to put up some buildings, that's going to help him out even more. It looks like a robotics facility finally going up for Reach, finally going to go tech up at the very least, and Flying needs to make sure he's not supply blocked here, because he's going to lose that pylon. Probably definitely on top of things, but really it's going to come down to micro and how well Flying can micro that Reaver, because that Reaver could really turn the tide of the battle, but he's really far behind. Now we have another Reaver out, and so now his chances have just grown exponentially on guarding this attack. There are a lot more Dragoons, probably about a third more Dragoons maybe for Reach, but those Reavers, man, those Reavers are going to make the absolute difference in this battle, and I am just really anticipating to see Reach's micro and how well he's able to control his Dragoons, and Flying as well, as Flying is a new player. Citadel of Doom going up for Reach, so he's probably going to go for some High Templar play rather than really Reaver heavy. His economy's still ahead. They're probably at the same income as of now, but Reach has just had that economy booming for just so much longer. He's going to be able to do a lot more macroing than flying comparatively. Because remember, when you put down that expansion, that's like 400 minerals that you don't have, and once you have to get those minerals back before your expansion becomes something that you can utilize and something that's positive in terms of economy. We do see that assimilator down, so probably going to transfer 3 probes off to there. That the observer sees pretty much everything that's going on. I don't even know if Reach really sees that observer there. Nothing that he can do about it for this time. He does have an observer finally of his own. And it looks like Flying's observer is going to retreat that probe stuck there in between all of those gateways. But now we're at kind of a standstill in the game to where both players just kind of macroing up. Reach doesn't really want to engage at that point. He knows that the Reavers are going to be very effective in that small choke, especially with that pylon there. You wouldn't usually think that pylon would play a huge role, but actually it does play a really big role. We see that forge spinning, so he's going to go for his +1 attack or some type of ground upgrade. Really, you can go for anything. I mean, +1 attack and +1 defense really don't matter nearly as much if you're both playing with Dragoons, because if you get +1 attack, then one more hit is better, each attack is better, and if you get +1 defense, then each of their attacks does less damage, which, I mean, obviously that's common sense, but when you're both playing with the same units, it really doesn't matter as much. It's just more of a DPS thing. If you have units that do more DPS, you'd probably want to go for attack, and if you have units that do less, you'd probably want to go for something more like a defense type thing. Anyways, the shuttle's coming in. The pylon sees this and immediately pulling probes is Reach. One hit going off, killing 1 probe. Might be able to get another one, but it looks like he does actually get another one. Wow, that Scarab just sneaking around the middle line right there. He does have speed upgraded for a shuttle, which is really key. That observer is there to spot for Reach. Reach looks like he might be moving out here. He still has 2 Reavers at the front. Flying doing a very nice job of harassing just that little bit. Third base going up for Reach as well at that middle top right position. And he's also positioned some Dragoons outside his base. It looks like a DT might try to get in here, and not entirely sure if there's an observer in that area. I actually don't think there is an observer in that area. That DT at the northern position. And Flying's going to be behind yet again in terms of bases if Reach is able to get this base up and running, and Flying does not expand very soon. He might be going for an attack in the near future. This is going to be a nice little time attack when Reach is trying to expand, but at this point in time, I don't know if it could do enough damage to Reach to where it's going to be able to break him, because he's gotten a lot more Zealot Heavy, which is going to be very effective against these Dragoons. The Reaver, obviously, if he can get some good shots off, that'll be huge. He does have 3 Reavers in the mix, and Reach has opted not to go for any Reaver play, which is very interesting. He went for more Templar play, which is kind of goofy. Here comes 1 Reaver shot going off on those Zealots. We do see just both armies. Reach is on the right and Flying's on the left. And now we have 4 Reavers out, actually, which is really interesting. 3 Templar are going to come in huge play. If those Templar get sniped, this is going to be really bad. Here comes the engagement. Storms going off on those Reavers, on the shuttle as well. 1 Reaver does go down. Zealots kind of getting caught out in the open here. They're not really getting to those Dragoons, which is kind of funny, but I think Reach just has enough forces to overpower this. Archon forming in the mix as well, but no, Reach is going to have to back up. He just did not micro his Zealots to the best of his ability. All of his Zealots were attacking kind of individual things instead of running right into those Dragoons like they needed to. Now High Templar are out for Flying as well, and you could see before Reach was visibly upset by the fact that that attack was not successful and he wasn't able to break Flying. He is going to have a better economy, but it looks like Flying's picking up that base at the top leftish type position, as well as the 9 o'clock. Well, he's picking up the 9 o'clock position. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, he's picking that inside 9 o'clock base. So he's going to be at even bases pretty soon, but at the same time, like I've been saying, Reach is going to be a little bit ahead just because he's had that base a little bit longer. And Storm Drop able to pick off 2 probes. Oh god, that just picked off a ton of probes. bad micro by Reach. Very, very nice. Getting 3 kills there. It actually seemed like more than 3, to be completely honest. But it looked like a lot of probes died there. Comparatively, at least getting 5. At the very, very least, doing a nice job there. And here comes Flying moving out. Reach reinforcing with more units. Not entirely sure if he's going to be able to defend at this point in the game. That Storm drop really kind of even things up in terms of economy. I know he's still not really mining from that 9 o'clock base. If he's able to deny this 9 o'clock, he's going to be able to do just fine. It looks like he's going in trying to snipe this. Meanwhile, Flying's coming up from the north. Templar getting caught on the up and storming the Templar. Both sides get Templar stormed, actually. DT's in the mix for Flying, and good storm on the Dragoons of Reach's Dragoons. So Flying just absolutely taking that out, and only a handful of Dragoons out for Reach. And I think that this might be game, unfortunately. Reach trying to reinforce with some more Zealots and Dragoons, but honestly I don't think it's going to be enough at this point in the game. If Flying's able to reinforce his army in the same fashion, he's just going to absolutely overtake Reach. Reach is resorting to Dark Templar, although that he did take out that base, so that was very, very effective. If he's able to keep up the advantage, and he might be able to come back, but it's going to be a little bit harder just because he lost that engagement so badly. I mean, really, Flying hasn't really reinforced any of his units. It looks like there's no observer out for Flying, so he's going to have to retreat for the time being. Reach on the counter offensive, and here he comes. There is an observer in the area of his observer, is able to pick off the other observer, and he is. So if there's any Dark Templar left, he's going to be able to take it out, but a lot of Zealots out now for Flying, and only the Dark Templar is going to stay on the offensive. Reach, meanwhile, is going to pull back, regroup his army, and it looks like we still don't have an observer out for Flying, so this Dark Templar is going to be able to do a little bit of damage. We do have +1 for Reach in terms of attack. 3 kills on that Dark Templar, 4 kills, 5 kills, 6, almost 6 kills, not quite 6 kills. Flying's expanding to that top left base as well, and the top right is being taken by Reach. So Reach definitely still in this game. He's going to be a little bit hard pressed to defend against any type of attack, but this Dark Templar is being really annoying. 7 kills, doing a very nice job. So kind of counteracting what that Storm Drop did earlier in the game. Now Reach at he's at a good point. He needs to be careful about that shuttle. That shuttle's coming in. Might be able to get some probe kills. Gets 2 probe kills. Just 2 probe kills. Looks like it's going to be attacking that cannon. It will take that cannon out in 2 hits, killing another probe in the mix as well. I believe that top right base is now up. That shuttle picking up that Reaver, and not Flash. Reach might be able to pick it off with these Dragoons, and is able to. Very, very nice job. Able to pick off that Reaver with those Dragoons. He now has a pretty sizable Dragoon army. Archons look like they are remorphing for Flying, and Flying is going for more of a Zealot Archon army rather than more Dragoon heavy like Reach is going, and we're gonna have to see how this works out, because Reach has a little bit more Dragoons, but definitely doesn't have the army composition in terms of Archons, and it's gonna come down to Storms and Micro, really. I mean, both armies look like they're kind of equal. We have a kind of a sizable army, and here comes the offensive by Reach. Reach barely pulling away, and Flying kind of doing his own thing too. Both of them just dancing in the middle. Don't really want to engage, because this is probably going to be the decisive battle. Both players are at 1, 2, 3 mining. Two mining bases really. Reach meanwhile is at 3 mining bases, as he has maintained that 3 o'clock position. Storm going off on all of Flying's probes, man. That was a really good storm. Another storm going off, making this base almost completely useless, taking out all the probes except 3. Doing just an amazing job there. Very, very nice job by Reach, and now Flying is going to have to go on the counteroffensive, try to even up the score here. Storm's going off everywhere. This army is just so massive. It's just a line of units massing, and Reach looks like he's on the retreat because he just does not have enough units. Here comes Zealots engaging as well. Storm's going off. Archon's in the mix. This is a huge battle. Huge storm going off on all those Dragoons, and I think that Reach might be able to take this away. Reach looking very, very confident. Reach definitely on the offensive here. He has more units, and I think we're going to see a GG from Flying anytime soon. Reach just doing absolute havoc on Flying's army there, and we see 4 High Templars just desperately trying to get away from the Wrath of Reach, and I think that this is going to be GG just from that Storm Drop. That Storm Drop was absolutely huge because now Flying is pretty much at one mining base, as he was not able to hold that 9 o'clock Storm going off on that Templar and Dragoon. Really not going to do that much damage. We have another High Templar, 11 kills, probably going to do another Storm, and now Reach is pounding at the front door, desperately trying to storm his way to victory. Is Flying, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to work. GG from Flying, so Reach wins the game, and he's one he needed because he's been on kind of a losing streak for KT Rolster, well, in the Pro League in general. But doing a very, very nice job there, and I might even cast the next game because I like to see Reach play. It's kind of cool to see one of the old guys win. He's like, it's like, it would be like seeing Boxer or Nada or one of them play, or Uv, something like that. Anyways, like the game, guys, it's kind of jumbled commentary this time. But, you know, it happens sometimes. Anyways, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe, please give me a like, and comment below, and I'll see if I'm going to do the next cast, because it's obviously going to be Reach, and you can't pass up a chance to cast Reach, can you? So, that's it for me, though. Lates.